Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Asato ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. Over to you, Shobha.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, once again, good evening to everybody. It's really, really nice that we have connected here this evening. And thanks to Vani Madam and Vasu Sir. Every week from years, this saga has been happening, and the couple have always been bringing different thoughts, topics to this forum. And we are always grateful for that, for facilitating this discussion and learning. And thanks to all the participants. Today we have about 22, including me. Thank you. Irrespective of Bangalore's weather, of course, we are all sitting comfortably at home, probably. But in spite of all these uncertainties, changes in weather, many of you have joined this evening. So, really, really nice. Thank you for that very warm introduction and invitation to me, Vasu sir.
Madam, advantage is we have people logging in from other parts, including US.
Oh, wonderful. That's really, really nice. That's the advantage, yes, of online sessions. Beautiful. Yes, admitting, yeah. You're doing it right, sir?
Yes, we just made you co-host because we have muted everybody.
You can share.
So you don't have to bother. You can go ahead with your session. Don't worry, as people come, we'll have.
Okay. All right. So today's topic, or this evening's topic, as Madam Moni said, being comfortable with one's own self. When you look at this topic, probably we'll start wondering, should I be really comfortable with myself when we are talking about spending time with others, having meaningful connection with others, making new friends, finding new places and relationships? What is this about being comfortable with own self, my own self? Is it really important? Yes, it is very important. How comfortable are we, or am I, with my own self? Because 24/7, 365 days, the only company which is with us is the company of my own self, the physical body. And apart from this, the emotional, your inner mind, the entire self is with us. So the best thing, or the best companionship we could have, is befriending your own self. So today's session is about how can we be comfortable with our own self? And before that, why should we be comfortable with our own self? Why? Because as the journey of life progresses, yes, we are born with our own siblings. We have a whole lot of people around us, parents, life partners, children, but people disembark or leave us at different times of life for various reasons. Be it settling in another place, marriage, promotions, leaving the city, or snatched away by death, whatever may be the reason. it is inevitable that people move and shift away from us. The sooner we accept the reality, the better it is. But who is that one person who is always with us? Is our own self or your own self. Isn't that the truth? Yes, just like your shadow. So, very importantly, the essence of life is the sooner we rest or we are happy with our own self, being myself, being in my own skin, being lonely but still happy, being with my own self is something that we need to learn, adapt, and that is going to ensure happiness. Mark Twain says that the worst loneliness is to not be comfortable with yourself. I think with COVID, we all have faced different types of self-quarantine, isolation. There were many instances when families had to stay apart, distanced, isolation in hospitals and wards for different lengths of periods of time, distance from family members, geographically separated, emotionally separated. Yes, we saw this happen, especially the last 2 years. We have seen this kind of moving apart deliberately happening many a times when people were kept away from their family members. The most difficult thing to fight was not just COVID-19 or the coronavirus. It was, how can I be comfortable with my own self? I'm single, I'm alone, but can I be happy? Many a times it was not the virus, it was not the disease, it was not the problem that was killing people, but it was the fear of being lonely, fear of being myself, fear of being alone, fear of being single took lives of many people. Yes, man is a social being. We are hardwired to be in company of people. We look forward to have our own kith and kin around us, have meaningful relationships. Yes, relationships add value to our life. But for various reasons in life, there are times and there will be times where we have to be by ourselves. It could be COVID. It could be the inevitable separation and death. It could be ill health. It could be various. You could still be with your family, with a lot of people, but still actually nobody to connect with you emotionally. And under all these circumstances, my dear participants, it's very, very important to be comfortable with my own self. End of it, the companion, the person who is with you needs to be happy. Only then we can be happy with our own self and spread happiness around. So therefore, let us appreciate that idea of being comfortable with our own self. Yes. Yeah. So today's topic title being comfortable with one's own self. What do we mean by that, being comfortable or enjoying your own company? What does it mean? So it's the feeling of being able to feel at peace. I'm by myself, the way I am, irrespective of my age, my physical looks, my capabilities, the place where I am I able to feel that peace with the idea of being alone, being the way I am? Are you happy spending time with your own self and enjoying all that life gives you? Because, as I said, not everything is in our control. So when things are actually slipping out of our way, am I happy with what I am holding with my own self? So it is that feeling where you are at peace with the thought of being by yourself is what matters. So when we say being comfortable with oneself, it is the ability to feel, okay, whatever today I am, I've made this particular choice of moving away from my children. I've made this particular choice of taking a retirement from my job. I've made this decision of staying in a community meant for senior citizens, whatever the choice may be. Am I fine with the way I am? Being comfortable with my age is something very, very important. So when we can reach this place without blaming situation, without blaming people for what is happening around us, that is when we learn to become comfortable with our own self. In fact, all of us have been taught to maintain relationship, to express love and friendship. In fact, according to the ancient Greek philosophy, there are 7 different types of love, and different terms are given to that. Pragma, which means a practical love where you get that on compatibility, and when you share a common goal, the kind of happiness you get is pragma. Storge is a kind of love, or the name or the nomenclature given to that kind of love which is shared in families, between people, between members of the family. Agape, a universal altruistic love, when you love or when you help out people just for the sake of helping without expecting any return. Loving nature, loving strangers, doing things out of just your own happiness. Nudist, that is non-committal love, flings, quick impulse or gratifying feeling. Philia is another kind of love or friendship that is expressed to good friends. Eros is the romantic or the sexual passionate love. Amidst all this is a very special kind of love which Greek philosophy says, that is philotia. Philotia is a Greek word which means loving your own self. How happy or comfortable with I am with my own self. But unfortunately, out of all these 7 types of love, philotia is kept at the lowest or at the bottom line of our priority list. We spend our entire life expressing different types of loves. Of course, it is very, very important. Pragma is important. Storge is important. All this is very important. But when we are busy expressing all these varied types of expressions of love, we lose ourselves, and we end up self-critical, not loving our own self enough. So philotia, the Greek word for loving thyself, loving one's own self, is something that needs to be practiced, taught, learned, because end of the day, the reality or the truth is we are with ourselves. Even when the entire family or people around you move away or leave us, it is me who's going to be with myself. So if I'm able to accept myself the way I am, physically, mentally, that is very important, and that is philotia, which each of us have to practice. At this juncture, may I ask you all, do you think being comfortable with our own self is important? If so, why? What else is the reason? Why should we be comfortable? Before I move on, let's see a quick answers in the chat box. Is being comfortable with own self important? Are we giving enough importance to this concept? Your answers, quick answers in the chat box.
Yeah, please, we invite answers in the chat, your opinions in the chat box. Please type your answers in the chat box.
Is self-love or being comfortable with yourself important? If so, are we comfortable being that? Your answers in the chat box. Our own company is always best, says Madam Rama. The source of happiness or unhappiness, absolutely. We need to be in touch with both happiness and unhappiness. Very true. A unique creation, I'm comfortable and happy. Very true. Janaki Ram says that, yes, each of us are unique, very special indeed. And it's very important that you're comfortable and happy the way you are. Absolutely. There can never be another you in this entire universe. It is important to be comfy with oneself because it goes a big way to be confident. Absolutely. Very, very true. Many a times we try to be like someone, to act like someone, but it's very important that we remain the way you are because there can never be another you. Right, Mantiman? Another 5 seconds. Let me see if there are more answers. Yes. So all of you who have answered have agreed in unison that yes, it is very, very important to be comfortable with ourselves. But are we comfortable is my next question. So let's ask ourselves, do I enjoy my own company? If so, what is my experience? When I'm all by myself, not out of compulsion, but as a deliberate choice, I make time for myself, let's say. So when I'm by myself, do I enjoy my own company? What is my experience? Let's take the first two questions for now. So do I enjoy my company? If your answer to this is yes, put an yes there. If your answer to this question is a no, let's be honest and say no. If your question is yes, what is my experience? How do you feel when you're by yourself? Let's go on for a little exchange of thoughts once again. Yes, very much. I can find answer because you'll know yourself better. Really true. In fact, the introspection or self-reflection can happen when you are by yourself, just with your own thoughts, breathing deeply, sitting in solitude, and that is when the greatest of inventions, biggest self-reflection can happen. Yes, most of the time, sometimes boring. Yes, it can be boring. It can be a little boring, but if we can delve a little deep, probably we'll be able to touch the core of yourself and able to understand the strengths, the flaws, how else we can be a better version of our own self. And trust me, the only time where you can actually remodify yourself, come out as an energized, better version of your own self is when you can introspect and be comfortable with yourself. So every day, just about 10 or about 20 minutes of me time, just you and your thoughts, or you and thoughtless also, if you can reach that with your meditation. I think that's one of the wonderful phase or place to be in. Yeah, most of the times. Thank you. But is everybody comfortable being themselves, being with themselves? That's the next question here. Because many a times it doesn't happen. There are not all people who are blessed with this kind of happiness or being comfortable with one's own self. So we shall be seeing how do I make time for myself and how do I become comfortable with my own self is what we're going to spend time a little later on. But before that, why is it's a little difficult for people to spend time alone? Throughout our life, we have been taught or to enjoy the company of people. We've always liked to be with young children, with our own family members. In fact, we like it that way. The moment a person is left to himself or herself for various reasons alone, then that's the time a person can become extremely self-critical, blaming situations, blaming people. What could be the reason for this? Probably the life's trauma, your personality, fear of abandonment, being afraid of thoughts and negative feelings could be the reason why people are a little conscious, cautious, and not comfortable being alone. But the sooner we realize that this is inevitable and that's the best way of understanding oneself, we can overcome. Just about last week, if you remember, there was a long weekend, a holiday, May 1st being a holiday, and then the next day was a government holiday, 2-3 days. A family very well known to me went for a holiday, and they had a senior member at home, aged mother at home, who was in fact given a choice of accompanying them for the family holiday. But due to her health issue, mother could not join. Yes, the family took a break. The young members of the family took a break for 2-3 days. They came back only to face the wrath of the mother at home. Mother was self-critical, blaming her situation, blaming the family members for having left her alone, punishing herself, her age, her health status, and being extremely sensitive and critical about the way things are happening around her. And everybody else is happy but for her. For what reason? For having to stay alone at home for 3 days. It's not that her needs were not taken care of. It's not that she was not in a situation or health status where she couldn't manage. Family had taken care of all these issues. But Madam was very, very uncomfortable being by herself in her own comforts of home. What happened? What was the result? The result was neither the people around her could be happy or enjoy, nor was she. End of it. Who is to be blamed, and what is the repercussion of negative thoughts and negative feelings? These negative thoughts and negative feelings can damage our physical and emotional health. The happy hormones, the 4 neurotransmitters of the happy hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin, the 4 neurotransmitters which keep us happy, which keep us pleasant, are produced when we are happy the way we are, doing things that we can reach out to and accomplish, doing a little exercise or work that we are able to, and being able to help others in our own small way. When we can do these 4 things, that is accomplishing tasks, small little things, whatever you want to, you feel like achieving your goals, being helpful to people or things around you, staying good to your own self, these things help in the production of 4 neurotransmitters or happy hormones, the ones I said, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin, and dopamine. But the moment we start blaming people, critical of others, we stop, or the positive flow or the energy flow in our body stops. That is when we forget to appreciate the small blessings in our life. We forget to recognize people and their care and work for us. Instead, we end up being critical, punitive, and I think there is no other worst punishment than punishing your own self. That's when the negative hormones or the negative neurotransmitters, the stress hormones start working in the body. This is exactly what happened. This senior lady who was staying at home, by the time the family returned, her BP shot up, her sugar levels went up, and by the time the family came, they had to face the onslaught of all these stress hormones. The family went into a state of sadness, In fact, they came to me saying, why, ma'am? Why does it happen? Can't we be happy with the way we are? Can't we accept the things as it goes? If only my mother could accept the thought that, yes, the family deserves a short holiday and they've been out. Let me accept my situation and my age. And when anything is falling short or when I'm neglected, probably the same could be communicated in the way it has to be. But end of it, being true to myself, accepting my situation, being comfortable with my own self would have added a lot of value to her own life and value to people around. In fact, the biggest gift we can give is being comfortable with our own self so that the people around us are happy. That way, we spread happiness and we cultivate happiness within ourselves too. Small little things, but often forgotten. I think we could be a little more conscious in being happy or comfortable with our own self so that this becomes a habit in our life. Let's move on. Yes. In fact, a loneliness, not a dictionary term, not a very well accepted term, but a loneliness is a word that can be used to describe the natural desire for being alone or solitude. It's nothing to do with depression. It's nothing to do with loneliness. It's nothing to do with introversion. But a loneliness is the freedom of not having to follow the lead of others. Being comfortable or being able to say no to things that are not happening my way. There's no pressure to please people, no pressure to act like somebody, and without any pressure to be like someone, just being yourself, being happy. A loneliness can be used to describe this natural desire. So, can we practice that? Is something what we need to look into. In fact, practicing a loneliness improves our productivity, our motivation, optimism, and our positivity. And this is very similar to self-compassion, being kind to your own self. Many a times we are kind to people around us, our neighbors, to strangers. When you're going, probably traveling in a bus, when you step up on somebody's foot by mistake, we are quick to say sorry. We are ready to apologize. But how often are we compassionate with our own self? No, it doesn't happen. We are very, very self-critical. We are critical about our age, about our health, about our deeds. ನನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮ ಇದು, ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ದೇವ್ರು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಯಾಕಿನ್ನೂ ಬದುಕಿಸಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿದ್ರು ನನ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ದೇವ್ರು ಕರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. Do you think you're being nice to yourself? No. We are being very extremely critical about our own self. This works in a reverse way on our mental and physical well-being. In fact, being compassionate, being practicing self-compassion can motivate you to achieve more, to be more productive, to be more positive. And today, positive psychology tells us that when we practice self-compassion, when we are happy with the way we are, wounds heal better, aging is delayed, and a person adds value to his years. So practicing self-love is not about selfishness. Practicing self-love and being comfortable with your own self is a way of liberation, is a way of contributing to your own self and to people around. So it's very important that we start understanding our own self and loving ourselves. How do we love ourselves? So before I move on to that, let me ask you all, what are the ways we could express love to our own self how can we be comfortable with our own self? What are the ways of expression? If I like something, probably I will be visiting and gifting my friends, send a greeting, send a beautiful message, pick up the phone and express love and care. We have been taught, we have been seeing different ways of expressing love to others. But what are the ways of expressing love to your own self, and how will you be comfortable doing that? Let me quickly get your answers in the chat box before I move on. And I would like to hear the ones you are practicing. Being kind to yourself, being happy by yourself. What are the modes? What are the strategies that are being followed by the participants? Let's hear before I move on. Your expressions in the chat box, please. Okay. We can pick up your favorite book and curl up. All along we had responsibilities. Absolutely. Yes. Learning new things, says Parathi. Applying myself by words. I applied myself by words as I talk. Okay. Not being compelled to socialize in an event. Like to change myself. Being happy by myself. I usually give something to a person who can't buy. I always talk to myself. Okay, I can attend these lovely webinars at my time. Nobody disturbs you. Yes. Can we use the me time for the way or the ways you enjoy? Because the entire life probably, especially when we are talking or discussing with the seniors, our entire life was spent for others, with others, doing things for somebody, working for an organization, pursuing a degree, reaching or chasing your goals, doing things for the family. Probably in this race, somewhere each of us would have forgotten our own selves. And that's how we were never taught to sit in a place, be by yourself, be very happy and content by yourself, not longing for company. But yes, today, many people are in this space and phase of life where you have the luxury of doing what you want. You have the freedom to choose or reconsider your hobbies. Just be yourself. Just being with your thoughts. Gazing sunrise, not doing anything. I think that's the biggest luxury. When did you have this? Even irrespective of the number of or amount of money you spent on a holiday, took a flight, went to different places, but there was always probably you're hard pressed for time. You had family commitments, professional commitments. But today, if we can enjoy without any kind of a disturbance, a beautiful bird chirping, just sitting by the window and watching that, just feeling the cool breeze. I think that's the biggest happiness or luxury each of us can get. So the happiness is not around us or away from us. Happiness could be created within us, provided we learn to introspect, self-reflect, look within, or rather just being comfortable with your own self. Yes, so there are many ways. I'm so glad that people have resorted to different ways of finding their own happiness. Indeed, that's really great. I think Each of us could find our ikigai, which gives you happiness. Ikigai is a Japanese term, your ultimate happiness. So if the things you have chosen is giving you happiness, I think you should be doing more of that. So a little from my side, how to be alone with yourself and be happy and comfortable with your own self. Identify, first and foremost, identify whether you're more of an introvert or an extrovert. Yes, introverts are those for whom the energy to function, to go ahead with life, comes from within. When I'm alone, when I'm myself, I function better. In fact, I feel a little drained out when I'm in company of others. This is how an introvert could be feeling. On the other hand, extroverts, people generally, they are people friendly. They are more happy being with people. So irrespective of whether you're an introvert or extrovert, it's very important that we identify our way of personality type and then being comfortable by myself for the reasons stated above. It's very important that we practice being alone or being myself, irrespective of whether you're an extrovert or introvert, because having friends or people around you cannot be assured all the time. As I was sharing a while ago, life can bring in a lot of twists and turns, many things out of our reach, out beyond our control. So if we could practice being in your own company and being yourself, I think that's the greatest gift you could do. Give it to yourself. Doing things that make you happy. It could be writing a poem, as somebody said. It could be picking up a book and reading. It could be just listening to soothing music. It could be just doing nothing, just being with your breath only. That is also a great way of, you know, detoxifying your own self. Lot of it can happen. In fact, research says that, research on positive psychology tells that 10 minutes of just being by with your breath itself can re-energize, can heal, and can do wonders for your physical and mental health. Taking care of one's own self. In fact, when we take care of our own self, doing things that make you happy or give you happiness, we are giving a very subtle message to the body and mind, saying that I care for you, I value you. Morning till evening, or all the years of our life, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of life, just let's think the different kind of contribution each and every body part and organ has done to us. I think our feet has carried us for miles, endlessly for miles in all these years. Our heart has been beating relentlessly for years without a short break, pumping gallons and gallons of blood throughout our body. Our brain has been functioning, working, even when we were fast asleep. Isn't it very important that we take care of all these friends of ours? We are all this put together, isn't it? So, can we take a little time saying that little thanks to our body parts, different parts of the body? Can we practice that right away? Yes, you're going to do along with me. Close your eyes. We are going to feel each of our body part. Get yourself connected physically and mentally, and say a short prayer and thank yourself for whatever your body, physical body has given you. Okay, please close your eyes. As I tell you, just feel your body part with a lot of compassion love, affection, touch yourself, and take a deep, slow breath, and then say that prayer, little prayer of gratitude. Let's begin. Your hands very gently on your head. Feel it, your skull. It houses the most important organ of the body, the superpower, the brain. The brain with billions of neurons, with the complex structure, different parts for different abilities. There is speech center, there is thirst center, there is center for emotions. All this in this 1400, roughly about 1400 to 1500 grams. The brain, the human brain is still the biggest mystery. And your skull houses this wonderful organ, the supercomputer, the brain. And if you are an engineer today, a doctor, a teacher, a homemaker, a mother, a software engineer, whatever, thanks to this wonderful creation. Let's touch our head. Let's bring to our mind the wonderful master organ inside it. Say a little prayer. Thank the supercomputer. The biggest computers in the world today cannot match the human brain. Thank you. I love you. Please say to yourself, thank you. I love you. Gently place your hand over your face. Feel your face. Yes, your face has given you an identity. You're known for your looks, your smile, your twinkling eyes, the beautiful complexion, and all this is housed in this anatomical feature, the face. People recognize you by your face. They give you a name by looking at this creature or the design, the feature. Say thanks to this beautiful feature, the face. The way you are, you're beautiful. Whatever your age may be, you are as it is lovely, beautiful, the way you are. Let's gently caress our face. Feel your eyes, the nose, your cheeks. Stroke it gently with a lot of love and affection. Say thanks. Embrace yourself. Hug yourself very gently. Very rarely we hug ourselves. Please do it with a lot of love, compassion. Yes, you need your company. You need yourself. Everybody in this world, every other person you have known can abandon you, but you can never abandon yourself. You need to stay put. You need to love yourself. You need to be happy with yourself. Hug yourself. Thank yourself for doing all that your body has been doing for you. Gently place your hand over your chest. The small fist-sized pump has been working day and night. Around the 20th day, when you were in your mother's womb, that's when this tiny little organ started beating. From then onwards, it's always beating continuously, rhythmically. the day it stops beating, that is the day when the connection with ourselves and this world ends. As long as this is happening, let's be thankful to the heart, to our heart. Say a little prayer. Say thank you. Gently keep your hands on your stomach. We were born with a mostly mere weight of, say, about 3 kgs, 2.5 kgs. See where we have reached today. All that food that's gone into our stomach at varied times, some good, something junk, something unhealthy, all that was converted into energy, was converted into muscle, adding weight, height to your own self. And today, the way we have grown in proportion in our body, thanks to this beautiful organ, the digestive organ, your stomach. It's been digesting all that is put in. Thanks to that, it has converted all that you give into vital energy and force. Let's love ourselves, thank your inner digestive organ. In fact, Prophet Muhammad says, stomach is the storehouse of all diseases, but food is a medicine, meaning all the diseases start from the stomach with the kind of food we eat. The right kind of food fosters or promotes good health, but all the diseases also start with our stomach only, meaning that's your gut or the stomach is a very, very important organ. Shouldn't we be thankful? Shouldn't we be loving our gut and stomach and the digestive organ? Yes. Be thankful. Express that gratitude. Feel your lower body part, your thighs, your calf muscles, your feet. In fact, your feet are carrying the load, taking you to different places, distant places. Let's be thankful to that. Just imagine a day when, if at all there's a day when we are not able to carry this body forward, how dependent we would become. So let's be thankful. Let's not take things for granted. Let's develop an attitude of gratitude. Our hands, the palm. It's worked like one of the finest machines, tools in the finest of the industry. It has created wealth. It has caressed your children. It has brought you where you are, made you write, carve, paint, carve a future for yourself. Let's look at our hands with gratitude, rub it gently, fold it in prayers and say thanks. Yes, every day that apart from we thanking Lord Almighty, we also have to thank these different wonders in our own self. And what best way to be thankful than to taking care of our own self? Do the things that improve the health of your own self. Eat the right kind of food. Feed the right kind of food for your mind and for your body. Do things with your hand that gives you more happiness. Helping somebody. Doing things for others. Go to places where you have been wanting to go, desire to go. take care of yourself. The biggest gift you can give to yourself is taking care of yourself. That's the way of saying thanks to your Creator. Because God has created each one of us being able to earn for ourselves, do things for ourselves, think for ourselves. When all this is beautifully designed, architectured, and carved out as you, the biggest thanks or gift we could give to our master creator is valuing this physical self. When you take care of yourself, you're thanking your creator. So let's not become self-critical, blaming our age, our stage, our position. Instead, can we be comfortable with what I am? Can I still be very thankful to whatever faculty is still left with me? I mean, my hands may be a little shaky. I might have lost a couple of teeth, or my vision may be a little poor. But instead of blaming where I am today, can I be thankful to what that has happened all these years? How far I have come. So that way, we are taking care of ourselves and sending a little thank you to Lord there. Reflect on your self-reflection. In fact, the process of self-reflection, wherein the process of being alone with your thoughts itself is an opportunity. And not many people are comfortable with that. So if it is making you feel uncomfortable, the times when you are by yourself with your own thoughts, if that is a time which is bringing a lot of pain, uncomfortableness, so that is when we need to understand ourselves better and find out why is this happening? Is it because of the negative experience of my life? Am I over expecting things from people around me? Let's do a little more introspection and accept situations as it is. So that becomes or gives you a lot more freedom and comfort to enjoy your own self. Connecting with others, yes. Although we are talking about being comfortable with your own self, being comfortable with your own self, in fact, helps you to connect better with others. I was talking to you about this woman, the lady, who was so unhappy that she was so critical and blaming her family members. If only she could be comfortable with herself, accept her situation, and greeted the family which came back after a vacation, sharing their, the pleasantries. Probably that way she could have connected with others and enjoyed her freedom too. We need to reach that stage. Life will never be fair and just all the time. Let's not compare ourselves with others. Just like each one is created in a different way with flaws, imperfections, and different varieties, our lives are different. Let us not waste time by comparing ourselves with others, comparing with somebody else's wealth, somebody else's happiness, somebody else's property. Let me be happy the way I am for what is given to me. Being in nature is a wonderful way of being comfortable with yourself. Listening to the birds, enjoying the cool breeze, sitting by the sea, just listening to the raindrops or river flowing is a wonderful way. 70% of our body is made up of water. And science tells us that our body and mind connects very well with water. In fact, there is water in us. So very well we lean towards water. So if you feel anytime bored, unable or not very comfortable with your own self, just switch on apart from the natural raindrops and the river, if that's not possible all the time, listening to water sound itself can bring a lot of solace to the body and mind. Listening to water sound, audio tracks, in fact, calms yourself and it brings a beautiful balance in the body. So being in nature, with nature, is a great gift you could give yourself. And I was also telling you about understanding why you feel comfortable with yourself is very, very important. Each of us, let us understand what is the source. Why am I so confused, or why am I so uncomfortable being with my own self? Does it remind you of your past, or does it make you anxious about your future? So identify where this uncomfortable feeling coming from. Is it from anxiety, or is it from the past baggage, not able to let go of what has happened? Whatever, if it is the past which is bothering you, or if it is the future which is causing you anxiety, please learn to drop both that, because neither your past nor your future is going to ensure happiness in your present, because right now we are in our present. What is reality is the present only. So when we are comfortable with the way we are today, this moment, it gives you much more happiness and ensures better physical and mental well-being. Meditation, I don't have to tell you much about that. Each of you have been probably listening, practicing, being a part of a lot of meditative processes and exercises. Yes, till today, this is one of the biggest way of self-healing. Practice and continue meditation. Learn to love your physical flaws and age. Our DOBs are known. Date of birth is known for all of us. But DODs, none of us know. Date of death, we don't know. But it's the inevitable or eternal truth that end is going to happen. Don't know when. Till then, whatever our age is, let's accept it gracefully. Rather than living in the past saying that I could do all these when I was young, like you, but look at me today. I'm unable to do all this. Instead of going on a guilty trip, let us accept and feel good about what the things today I'm able to, with your age, with those physical flaws. That way, we are comfortable being ourselves. Each one of us are unique. Each one of us have been made differently, just like our thumbprints. None of us are same. There can never be another you in this entire universe. So embrace this unique personality. When we can assimilate all these factors, I think that's going to give a lot of calmness, and we learn to accept ourselves and be very, very happy in our own company. Because the only thing that is certain is, as long as we are breathing, we are in this physical self. And very importantly, things outside can go wrong. People may move. Our wealth may deteriorate. Our health may deteriorate. But we are with our own self 24/7. So very important is accepting the way we are and feeling good about our own self. So dear participants, the day we learn to befriend ourselves, the day we are comfortable in our own company, I think that is the day of liberation. That is the day of true happiness. Let me stop here.